this is more of a sex issue versus a race issue. 6 of his victims happened to be Asian women. And this all happened in one day. One man did survive, and one white woman was also shot and killed, and she was actually just there getting a massage. A little background on this man. He had stated to the police that he had a bad day. Those were the exact words that he said to the police. And his roommate actually described him as having, a very bad day, and described how he was feeling as well that same way. It was also said by the parents of this man that he was very distraught that day. He was actually a frequenter of a church. I believe it was a Baptist church. And he was a youth pastor, but the church that he went to recently took down their website. He actually was on the website in some videos for the church that he had done. So this guy was feeling really bad because he had this craving for sex and porn and all of that. His roommate also stated that he had blocked all porn sites from his laptop and had asked his roommate to keep his laptop from him unless he was using it right there with him. So he went ahead and said, "Hey, can you take my laptop so I cannot access it because I don't want to be near something that will bring upon more guilt." So he went out and he actually got a flip phone because he didn't want internet access on his phone, because he was very, very addicted to porn and lustful thoughts and all of that. So he ended up blaming women as if they were the problem, when in fact it was obviously him. So he had this whole guilt thing with his upbringing. It was very, very frowned upon to have these lustful thoughts. And he saw these places as a place to go. I was researching and found that there's actually a website. I'm not gonna put it here. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I don't want any creeps to go there, but it's basically a website where men and maybe women can go on and review, I guess, different massage parlors and kind of talk about which ones are the 24-hour sexual massage parlors, the not legit ones, and kind of review back and forth and talk to each other like weirdos. So these 3 different shops were actually on that website under, the sex type of website. Nevertheless, no matter what kind of business it was, those people did not deserve to die because of their job. And I kind of think of is called What We Know About the Victims of the Atlanta Shootings. It begins with this. One was a newlywed bride getting a massage with her husband. Another was an immigrant from China who proudly built their business from nothing. The youngest was 33, and the oldest was 74. In 3 deadly shootings Tuesday at Atlanta area spas, 8 people lost their lives, leaving behind family members, 1 an infant daughter, and friends, including longtime customers. 7 of the 8 killed were women. 6 people were of Asian descent. 2 were white. The alleged gunman, blank, 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 21, was charged with 8 counts of murder and 1 count of aggravated assault. And here is what we know about those who died in the shootings. Now, this name I can't quite pronounce, so I will spell it. Xiaojie Tan. So this is a woman. So we'll say Mrs. Tan. Thursday would have been Mrs. Tan's 50th birthday, but instead, Tan of Kennesaw, Georgia, was remembered by her friends who left flowers at her business, Young's Asian Massage, the shooting scene that killed her and 3 others. Tan, or Emily as she was known by some friends, was dedicated to her job and workers. According to her husband, Jason Wang, the couple ran Young's Nail Salon, Young's Asian Massage, and Wang's Feet and Body Massage. In quotes, it says, she donated and gave money to her employees and treated them so well. Wang, 47, said she was always celebrating their birthdays, doing things for them, end quote. She was also proud of her daughter, a recent graduate from the University of Georgia. Her daughter, Jamie Webb, 29, told USA Today that her mother was her best friend. She did everything for me and for the family, Webb told the newspaper. She provided everything. She worked every day, 12 hours a day, so that me and our family would have a better life. That's really sad. Webb and Dan's ex-husband, Michael Webb, did not respond to requests for comment. That's unfortunate. Dan sometimes hosted Lunar New Year and 4th of July parties. And so this lady was all about her community, and she did all this stuff with like food and fireworks at her spa. And this was said by customer Greg Heinzen. And Heinzen said that they met 6 years ago. She was a very good friend, a kind and sweet person. Heinzen said dance business was unfairly stigmatized by some who associated her store with sex work. She was absolutely professional, he said. She cared about her customers. She cared about her job. She cared about her friends and family. After he heard about the shooting, Heinzen rushed to the scene, shocked to see all of the police cars. I can't wrap my mind around it, he said. The kindest, sweetest people gone for what? soon. I'm like about to cry. This is like, man, this is like really, really sad. So before moving to Georgia about a decade ago, she and her ex-husband lived in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where their family befriended Zawa and Gary Petit, who have a daughter who is younger than Jamie Webb. Jamie. It says Exao Petit, who grew up in Nanning, the same city in China as Dan, recalled how her friend taught her the ins and out of nail care when she was looking for a new profession in the U.S. While she was also working 60 hours a week, Dan hosted lessons at her house, teaching other women the business. In the same period, she trained and became licensed in massage therapy. She forwarded money to her family in China and even sent back other gifts for her parents with the Petits, when they visited Nanning. It says that she didn't do much for herself, but she always helped everyone else. Sounds like me. This is what her husband said of her. On Tuesday, as soon as she saw the news of the shooting, Exao Petit reached out to her friend to check on her, but no reply came. And she considered maybe Dan was working late hours, as she did so often. A mutual friend in China told her she had just talked to Dan that morning. I had to pause it because my baby, he's being a little, he's a toddler, so he's next door in his room getting his diaper changed. But as I was saying, she considered that maybe Dan was working like late hours like she did all the time. I kept calling and texting, she said. Instead, the friend later heard from Dan's family that she was among the victims and called Petit to break the news. And she actually bursted into tears. At a two-story townhouse in Kennesaw listed in Dan's name, neighbors who recalled her friendly nature said she was moving out 2 years ago. Ken Butler, who lives 2 doors down, said Dan had lived at the house with her husband, whom he identified as Jason. Butler said they were really very nice people who took interest in their indoor aquarium, summer plants, and their pet chihuahua. They just struck me as really hardworking people who owned businesses and tried to earn a living. Butler, 29, said, "It is really unfortunate." Butler said he is highly skeptical of the reports that Long had frequented Young's in search of sexual encounters. They were not these kinds of people, said Butler. They were good, honest people. Butler, who moved into the neighborhood in 2015, said Dan rarely had any guests over, but she, Jason, and their daughter were social with the neighbors. They were friendly. She was always so nice and said hello and waved, added Butler's wife, Taylor, 25. The next victim is Delena Yan. Delena Yan, 33, and her husband had decided to treat themselves Tuesday. They booked a couple's massage and were in separate rooms when the gunman entered and started shooting, according to Delane Davis, a relative. Yan was killed and her husband had escaped. They were just taking an afternoon together, Davis said. It was the first time they'd ever been to that place. Wrong place, wrong time, man. The past year had been momentous for Yan. Over the summer, she gave birth to her second child, a daughter. Shortly after, she and her husband, Mario Gonzalez, were wed in a small ceremony in Ringgold, Georgia. Her dreams were finally coming true. Things were falling into place with her, said Lisa Marie, Jan's longtime friend. It was good to see her happiness. Gonzalez told the news website Mundo Hispanico that moments after the horrific shooting, when he was anguished by the uncertainty of what had just happened to his wife, he was briefly arrested and handcuffed by the police officers who had arrived there. And the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, who responded to the event, did not immediately, respond to the request for a comment. Friends and relatives said Yan put her family above all else. When a divorce upended her sister's family a couple years ago, Yan took in 2 of her sister's preteen children to live in her home. She was close with her mother, who also lived with her. Marie remembered getting misty-eyed seeing the 2 of them dance to Boys to Men at her wedding. They were inseparable, she said. When she wasn't with family, Yan worked hard, covering the 3rd shift at a local Waffle House. She had been a server at the restaurant chain since 2013 and was recently cross-trained as a grill operator. Waffle House said in a statement. Yan's friend, Rose Cross 23, also recalled her affection for others, telling the Post that Yan let her stay with her when she lost her job due to the coronavirus pandemic. I just can't believe she's gone, Cross said. She was a light, She just made everybody happy. She loved to smile and joke and hang out with her friends and make sure that they always had fun. She was a happy person. Yan's Facebook page was sprinkled with pictures of her wedding and her children, along with loving messages from her husband. It's you who occupies all of my heart, he wrote in one of their last exchanges. Thank you, my love, she replied, you and me. Now this next victim is Paul Andre Michaels, or Mickles, I'm not sure. But Paul, 54, had started working as a handyman at Young's Asian Massage only in recent months. After his business installing security systems faltered, Mickles, an Army veteran struggling to find a new job during the pandemic, appreciated getting to build again. His longtime friend Kikiana Whitby said he enjoyed work and seeing the results of his work. She said, when he wasn't working, he fished or spent time with his wife of 24 years, Bonnie. Although the couple didn't have any children, Whitby says Mickles treated everyone like he was their uncle. He came from a large family in Detroit, who was the 7th of 9 children. It was only natural when Whitby had her son Joey that she asked Mickles to be his godfather. Mickles went above and beyond in his role. He and his younger brother, John Mickles, went shopping and set up a nursery for Whitby's son. And he didn't survive due to a congenital breathing problem. He would give you the shirt off of his back, Whitby said. He would do anything in his power to help you. Mickles was fond of gift giving, with Christmas being one of his favorite holidays, Whitby said. He was a good, hard-working man who would do what he could to help people, John Mickles said in an interview with WSB TV2. He would loan you money if you needed it sometimes. You never went away from his place hungry. The next I have here is Dao Yu Feng. Dao Yu Feng, 44, began working at Young's Asian Massage in recent months. According to Dan's friend Heinzen, she was kind and quiet, he said. Her relatives could not be reached for comment, so we do not know much of her. Next is Young A.U. Young A.U., 63, was among the 4 workers killed in Atlanta. She was also a mother, according to her family's attorney, B.J. Pack. Her sons, in a statement shared by PAC, thanked those who have reached out to provide support and words of encouragement. We are devastated by the loss of our beloved mother, and words cannot adequately describe our grief, they said. One son, Robert Peterson, 38, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution she was laid off amid the pandemic and excited to return to work. She frequently spent her time cooking Korean food, visiting friends, and watching movies, soap operas, or reading. My mother didn't do anything wrong, Peterson said, and she deserves the recognition that she is a human. She's a community person like everyone else. None of those people deserved what happened to them. I now have high-end young Grant, working long hours at Gold Spa in Atlanta. High-end young Grant, 51, was a single mother who did all that she could to support her little sons. Not little, they're like young adults. They looked to be 20s or so. Park told the Daily Beast that Grant loved dancing, electronic music, and her sons. He said she hid her job from them, saying instead that she worked at a makeup store. Before she moved from South Korea, she was an elementary school teacher, she told her sons. And here in America, she did what she had to do. He said to the news website she was a single mother of 2 kids who dedicated her life to raising them. Co-workers of Park remembered Grant visiting her son at the Tree Story Bakery and Cafe in Duluth, Georgia, where he worked. I could see the joy in her eyes every time she would see him working. Bakery worker Isaac Joe said, I could tell from that she was a very loving mother who cared for her family. Park started a GoFundMe fundraiser after he and his younger brother were told that they would be forced to move from their home. Losing her has put a new lens on my eyes on the amount of hate that exists in our world, he wrote on the page. In an update the same day, the fundraiser surpassed $1 million. Park said he was grateful for the outpouring of aid. My mother can rest easy knowing I have the support of the world with me. Next is Soon Jung Park. Soon Jung Park, 74, spent most of her life in the New York metropolitan area and moved very